gals, never here from Drake Wing Game, and it's 70 miles Twitter, the game you drag today. I'm coming back at you on a Let's Play episode of Devil's Gambit. So, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. God, she's fucking cute. Teresa is the sort of woman who never lets go when she settles her sights on an objective. I imagine Aaronin would have had more luck breaking free from the coils of an anaconda than refusing her request. I figure he wasn't happy about inviting a bunch of townsfolk into his home, but how's he gonna stop her? Besides, this is for his son's birthday. But also, Teresa never hides what she's thinking, and I don't merely mean she isn't afraid of speaking her mind. Even when we were young and she told me all about Renai's demons killing the Duke's men, her mischief, her desire to see me cry in terror was plain to see. Cagan was the same, prone to trickery and proud of it. It's little wonder I like talking to Teresa, too. Anyway, how are you, Hector? Looked like you got into a fight with your pillow. Me? I'm great, yes. You know, I came looking for you last night after dinner, but you never showed up. Arwel said you were out. Where were you? My eyes go wide. Well, you see... Yes? Actually, met the priest last night. I was at the temple, the one in the forest. Yes. What were you doing there? I went through there with Cadgan, and we dined together, us three. It was quite late by the time I came back. Teresa tilts her head, and I feel the hairs on my nape standing. Is she onto me? God, I know I'm obvious, but that's why I'm trying to avoid mentioning anything regarding Ranskai. What gave me away? What do I tell her now? But then she cackles, and I force out a nervous laugh of my own. Right. Anyway, do you think Caddy will come around here? Not so fast. What's so funny? No, I figured you'd appreciate me being coy. You guys fucked, right? I'm frozen in place, unable to take another breath or even move a muscle. The last bit of air escapes my mouth, alongside every thought occupying my head, right in that instant. Somebody raised Karina from the dead because I identified the fifth layer. It must be whatever just left my body. What comes out of my drooling mouth next can barely be called a word. It is but the shadow of a memory of a feeling. What? What? What do you mean, what? It's a Renai staple. He invites you to dinner with his father, gets his approval, then he drags you into the forest and fucks you against a tree. Tale as old as time. Hell, that's how my hubby and I had our first time. No, you... Come on, it's written all over your face. Teresa, merciless, tactless Teresa. How can you be so wrong yet so utterly demolish my consciousness? How much more must you reduce me until you're satisfied? Perhaps she takes pity on me, or gets bored, and stands up from her seat. Anyway, I'm guessing Cagan stayed at the shrine, right? Guess I'll try to catch him later. Have a good day, Hector. She waves at me without a care in the world before exiting the tavern. I remain there, petrified, for several minutes until a spark of a thought goes off in my skull and I remember I'm running late for work. I'm only grateful Teresa isn't here to see me struggle trying to stand up. Take a nail. Water time. Guys and gals, and we are back. Let's go ahead and jump back in, shall we? Was this one right here? Okay. Yeah, there we go. Alright. I need to ask for a day off. We do enjoy that privilege as long as we don't abuse it. Even doctors need to take care of themselves, but I don't think the head doctor will be happy about me doing it on such short notice. Other than that, the shift at the hospital isn't as bad as I've been dreading. There are plenty of chances to sit down when you're looking for them, and I can borrow the hospital's equipment to brew an elixir to alleviate the pain. A good part of being the hospital's main herbalist is that people stop asking what you're preparing. The corner the head doctor saved for me is always inhabited by the sound of bubbling potions and a smell of stinging herbs. A smell, though not as pleasant, not too different from Ranskai's. As we walk through Renai's forest, my eyes are fixated on the mountainous blue in front of me. Cadgan carries on, never minding the brushes, roots, or any other obstacle in the way. It shouldn't be unusual, with him going back and forth between the shrine and town countless times. But this is Renai. I've noticed it after living here for a few months. Not as a guest in the Duke's manor, but as a doctor working in the town. Somebody who often has to visit the river for water or hygiene, and to occasionally spend the afternoon prowling for herbs. This forest is truly treacherous. The path never quite twists the way you remember. Every day, roots and rocks seem to burrow or sprout out of the earth for no apparent reason besides catching you off guard. I've grown used to watching my step, but Cadgan, he doesn't spare even a glance. I suppose it's to be expected. As a badger, I'm out of my element here, but he's the son of Renai's old priests. He ought to be more attuned to this land than I am. Hey. How are you feeling? Nervous? A bit, I guess. Last night, Teresa showed up while we were having dinner. She only stayed for a brief moment to tell Cagan the party would be at the shrine, and that she had, in her own words, invited the entire town. I doubt that many people will show up. As the shrine comes into view and we walk under the whimsical frogs and past the statues of the two wolves, Cagan slows down and then stops. He looks back, first at me and then behind me. One moment. He walks up to the two peaceful wolves, his wide silhouette concealing him as he crouches and reaches for them, or rather around them, grabbing something. The badger statue. He clutches it tight, enveloping it with his fist as though hoping I don't notice it. Let's go. Inside the shrine, the small table we sat at the other day has been replaced by a family-sized one. Teresa and Ernan are there to greet us. The wolfess is beaming, while the priest, there's a hint of smugness to his smile, which becomes much more evident when he sets his eyes on me. There they are. Kept us waiting. I was starting to worry you'd bailed on us. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, hi, hi. What the fuck? I wouldn't do that to Ernan. Cadogan wastes no time before walking up to the shelf and placing the badger statue at the top, above all the colorful flasks and tools. He then turns to Teresa without missing a beat. Is everything prepared? Need me to set up or cook anything? Sit down, Caddy. Just leave everything to us. You too, Hector. All right, you look happy today, Ernan. Of course, tis a joyous occasion. You don't worry about a thing, my son. Teresa raises an eyebrow at him. What are you up to, old man? Nothing at all. Don't give me that look. I turned to Cagan, whispering, What's up with Ernan? He's just happy. It's been years since we had a proper celebration for my birthday, let alone with other people. There's no way it's just that, but the gleam in Cagan's eyes is so joyful, so childish that I can't argue back. If he's having fun, then that's all that matters. After a moment, Teresa gives him a knowing smile. After she finishes placing the bread, cheese, and fruit on the table, they go out to prepare the stew. Cagan and I are making small talk about the times Aunt Nora took me out to eat in the city when Teresa barges back in, and she's got new company. Cagan, look who's here! Hey. I catch myself gripping the edge of the table. Cagan hesitates at first, but then gets up to offer the other wolf a handshake. Good to see you here, though I'm surprised you came. Fergus takes his hand. Teresa's gaze dances between the two of them, perplexed by the palpable tension. I might be an arsehole, but I'm no hypocrite. Not gonna act like I'm too good to join you today, either. I haven't introduced you to Hector yet, have I? Cagan gestures towards me, and Fergus shoots me a scrutinizing look. Now that he recognizes me from the countless nights he's seen my back next to Cadogan's. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Hector. Name's Fergus. He simply nods, Teresa staring at his face with that look of hers that seems to be digging into your soul. The wolf takes notice and reluctantly returns the look. Once she seems convinced he doesn't intend to cause any trouble, the wolfess claps her hands together. Anyway, the main dish will be ready soon, boys. Feel free to grab a snack in the meantime. What about a drink? Arwel said he'd bring some. He should be here any second now. Cagan shakes his head. You're not drinking that. I'll get you some water. Fine then. Your party, your rules. Three of us sit down while Teresa returns outside. Fergus left a strong impression on me the other day, but I tried to push those feelings aside. It'd help if he wasn't so focused on me. So, who are you? Pardon? You walk into town one day and have been sticking by Cagan ever since. Why? Hector is a very special childhood friend. Really? I don't know any Badger family living in Renaya, unless they moved out. Do you remember Eogan? The wolf crosses his arms and leans back in his chair. The name rings a bell, but wasn't that a friend of Finbar's? Yes, that was Hector's father. His ears perk up and his eyes go wide. Right, the foreign doctor. And you met back when the dude kidnapped you, huh? So you do know about that? Hard not to. Word gets around quickly in Renai. And you know, it was scary back then, so it's hard to forget. Scary? Folk were afraid they and their family would be next for a time. My mom wouldn't let me out of the house. He laughs it off, but for an instant he remembers being a pup, watching through a gap in the window for the Duke's soldiers. Cagan silently enjoying a piece of bread, seeming rather disinterested in the conversation. Bless me. Ooh, sorry, y'all. So you two go way back, huh? How was it staying in the mansion? Well, it was a beautiful place, but very intimidating. Everything was too big or too precious. The hallways went on and caused every footstep to echo. I never found any demons there, if that's what you're about to ask. Ha! I'm nowhere near the age to start making those jokes yet. Really? Kagan and Teresa used to do it all the time. But that was their thing. Hoof prints outside your home, strange sigils drawn in red paint, vines painted purple to make them look like haze leaf. Whenever those showed up, you could bet your life Teresa and Kagan were behind it. Even as a pup, Alistair was a stubborn little bastard. There was this girl that caught his eye, and although she wasn't interested, he wouldn't take a no and kept on pestering her. When she tired of it, she told Teresa, who told Cadogan, and the boy did the two of them, and boy, did the two of them make his life hell. Fergus slaps the table as he breaks out into laughter, and even Cadogan lets out a small smile show. I remember that. I asked Aaron to help me make this toy snake, and then I painted it and tied a string to it. When we were playing outside, I put it next to Alistair and hid behind a tree. Teresa pretended to throw a rock at it. At the last second, I pulled it into the bushes. Then she told him the Dusk Viper was a sign a demon had his sights on him, and to seek counsel at the shrine. Yeah, so he went ahead to wait for him. Goodness, what happened next? Nothing much. We just put him through a bunch of fake rituals to scare him. You two were evil little shits, let me tell you. I suppose you were a rascal even back then. He's always been like that. You know, I always thought you and Teresa would get together sooner or later. Really? We get along, but I'm not her type. I guess you're more like partners in crime, huh? Or used to be. Suddenly, we notice a heavy set of footsteps getting closer, followed by Arwel's bombastic voice. Just a few seconds later, he pushes the door open with a jolly smile. Teresa's behind him, trying to fit between the doorframe and his tail. Greetings, friends! Here's a present, courtesy of Arwel! At first, I notice only 2 straps around the dragon's shoulders, but once he turns, I see that he's carrying a barrel on his back. He lets it slide down until it falls on the base of his tail, and then lowers it onto the floor. Tom, can't you at least let me have a sip, man? No. Come on, don't be like that. There's enough for everyone. As he says this, the dragon glances around the room. Well, I figured there'd be more people here, in fact. Hey, last time it was Cag and Aaron and me and my husband. It hasn't been this many people in years. That's so. Let's make this a memorable occasion, then. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. But since this is going to be going up on, I believe, New Year's Eve, y'all, I hope y'all have a wonderful, safe time tonight. Enjoy each other and have some fun, have a good drink, and be thankful for all the things you have in your life right now, y'all. And let's hope and pray for a better year in 2026, huh? So, here's hoping, y'all. Anyway, Happy New Year, all. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!